Marketing Vice President with Levinson and Associates. Today we've got a great webinar for you. We've actually got a couple guest speakers, the first of which is Carrie Levinson, who is the President of Levinson and Associates. And then secondly, we have Jen Norcutt, who is our Senior Internal Wholesaler from Prudential. So of course today's webinar is on policy review. We've got a lot of great resources for you as a producer to actually use to help in that policy review process. And before we get started here, we are giving away a tablet to our 100th registrant at the end of the call. So we're going to run probably for about 30, 35 minutes, and then at the end of the call, we'll give away that tablet to our 100th registrant. And as usual, we will send out an email this afternoon with the recording link and all the materials that we're actually going to be reviewing today. So without further ado, I'm actually going to introduce Carrie Levinson, who is our President of Levinson and Associates, just to talk briefly about policy review and really why it's so important to get back into the practice of actually doing policy reviews. So Carrie, whenever you're ready.
Joe, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I normally do not get involved with the webinars. However, this particular webinar is on a subject that's very near and dear to my heart. And the reason it is because way back when, about 44 years ago when I started in this business, one of the things that someone taught me that many years ago was how to use a policy review concept and how it can make a difference in my career. Well, unlike many of my peers at that time, I am still in the business and they're not. And so I really do attribute much of the success I had as an agent and a salesman to the policy review concept. And in my training classes, many times I refer to the fact that we as agents can become app takers, or we can become those who build a practice. And I think it's so important that the policy review is going to help those of us who are not just passing through this industry, but who are totally committed to it. I think that the policy review will help you become a much, much superior salesman, and also will help you to build a practice for yourself and not just be an app pusher who's kind of strolling through the business for 2 or 3 or 4 years. So with that said, the main concept of the policy review is to keep you as an agent in front of not only your existing clients, but even a prospect that you meet becomes a prospect for you to sit down with and do a policy review. In addition to that, the clients that you've written that are your clients, whether it be term or universal life, there's always a reason to go back and talk with your clients, whether it's a term conversion, whether I can tell you that 5 years ago, someone who had type 2 diabetes under control was paying a Table 2 to a Table 4 rating on their policy. If you go back and visit with that client, he's lost weight, his diabetes is under control, his glucose is where it should be, there's a very strong possibility you can go back and rewrite that policy or change that policy to standard rates. So things like that, in addition to not just term conversions, but you know, people's lives change. They become, some get married, some get divorced, some have children, some are doing very well in business. So the policy review is a perfect tool to help you get in front of your prospects and clients, and it gives you a reason to go and see them. And I think that's what will differentiate you between an app taker and one who builds a practice. So I'm extremely proud that our affiliation with Prudential brings us to Jen Norcutt, who's going to spend some time with you this afternoon on the policy review. But in the meantime, Joe, I think if you would like to introduce Jen, please do so.
Yep, thank you, Carrie. And just before we dive into Jen's presentation, I've just got a couple slides here. The first of which is just to remind everybody about the annual Levinson Expo, which is actually being held in sunny South Florida on April 24th. So we're pretty close to about a month away. Basically, the annual expo, this is the 8th year we're hosting this. Of course, Prudential is one of our keynote speakers at the event. But this is a day full of sales ideas, sales concepts. We're not going to spend, half of the day talking about insurance company ratings. It's all focused on you as the agent and giving you great sales ideas and concepts so that when you leave that meeting at the end of the day on Friday afternoon, you have a list of actual concepts and materials and agent tools that you can use starting that weekend or first thing Monday morning to really help grow your practice. So I just wanted to mention that. You can register for the annual expo. It's actually going to be starting at about 9 a.m. going to about 5:30. We have several different tablet giveaways, a grand prize giveaway, and we give out cash prizes throughout the day. So that's definitely a day you do not want to miss. And then real briefly here, a little note on our upcoming webinars. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're going over our co-op mortgage lead program, which now has lead reimbursement built into the program. And then on Friday, which is the 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going over some income annuity training. Our in-house annuity specialist is Josh Hoffman. He is available at extension 23. So if you have any questions on annuity products or illustrations or quotes or want to learn more about any of these sales concepts we have on the annuity side, reach out to Josh. And then real quickly here on Monday, which is the 30th at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're covering our e-policy delivery platform where you can actually get the policy placed the same day it's issued by electronically delivering that policy. So you're going to save about a week and a half to 2 weeks throughout that entire policy cycle time using e-policy delivery. You can go to carrielevinson.com and actually register for any one of these upcoming webinars, or you can check out our YouTube channel. We've got about 89 to 90 different videos, and anything from new product rollouts to e-application tools, a lot of great things on our YouTube channel to check out. Before I introduce Jen, I don't want to take away too much of her thunder here. I just want to talk briefly about some of the great resources that Prudential has made available in 2015. And I know I use these almost on a daily basis. A lot of times a scenario will come up where an agent or a producer will be looking for a certain client presentation or something they can use to help make the sale. So I thought it would be important just to go over these key advantages to working with Prudential before I introduce Jen. The first is the mobile toolkit. Those agents that have worked with us for a while or maybe are brand new to the Levinson family, you'll know that and you'll see that we're very, very keen on using technology and everything that's available to make your life easier. One great thing Prudential has done is come out with a mobile toolkit, which actually allows you to run a quick needs analysis, obtain an underwriting estimate, and actually get a quote for term insurance right on that app. So you can use that for any smartphone. You'll see from the picture there, it's available, especially on the iPhone, a great tool to have out in the field. Another great thing is they have something that's called the Client Profiler. This is basically a great resource for you to be able to identify different insurance opportunities. In talking with your clients, be able to identify which insurance solution is going to fit their specific needs analysis. And I think that's great, especially when Carrie talks about building a practice, not becoming an app taker. There's a lot of opportunities we can discover in that life insurance arena with the clients, and that Client Profiler piece will actually help you through that process and make sure you identify every single need that's going to be covered with these life insurance products, whether it's personal or business. Also, Prudential has a great advanced marketing microsite to help you with all the complex issues of advanced marketing. A lot of great resources are available through that Prudential website. Another great thing is the 2015 Tax Guide, which is really something that can help you when you're in a crunch, also something great to mail to clients, maybe with a little reminder to get in touch with you, to go over this policy review process that we're going to touch on today. And the last thing I'll mention is the updated Universal Life Portfolio. Prudential really in 2015 has repriced their UL product, and we're seeing them become even more competitive, not only in the no-lapse arena, but also in the indexed life product arena. So definitely look for those products on your next permanent quote request or your next quote that you're going to run. Look to Prudential to be not only competitive in that no-lapse marketplace, but also the index products and the cash value accumulation products as well. So without further ado, I will introduce Jen Norcutt, who is our Senior Internal Wholesaler at Prudential. We've been working with Jen for several years. We consider her a great asset. So Jen, I believe we can all see your screen, so whenever you're ready, we appreciate you taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Carrie, for having me on today. Today, I am going to talk to you about life insurance policy review. And quickly, I just want to talk about product innovation and efficiency. I like to start out with the cell phone analogy. Back in 1983, a cell phone was a whopping $4,000, and all it did was make a phone call. Now, 30-some years later, you can get a cell phone for under $300, and not only does it do your phone calls, which nobody seems to make anymore. It's all texting and email. Has calendar, internet, video, camera, etc. It does everything but the dishes that are dirty in the sink. To kind of go along with that product innovation and improvements, you know, that's happened in the life insurance industry as well. One of the first product improvements has been mortality improvements. Back, 30 years ago, people weren't living as long, so policies were really expensive. Now people are living a lot longer, so policies get cheaper. You can see that in some of those old whole life policies where their premiums are extraordinarily expensive. With this mortality improvement comes less expensive policies, which means your clients can sometimes get the same death benefit that they had 20 years ago for the same price now or even less, even though they're 20 years older. A second thing that we're seeing is the downturn in interest rates. You can see here how the Treasury note has gone down over the years, which is causing those whole life policies to not provide the dividends that were originally illustrated. So some of these clients of yours who have these old whole life policies have seen their dividend returns not be where they thought they would be. So they're having to take out policy loans to pay their premiums and pay premiums a lot longer than they expected to. So this is a real challenge for them. So in the dark blue line, you can see how those notes are going down. I want you to look at this light blue line. This is the S&P 500. And you can see how the S&P has gone up. So this takes a turn more towards those more indexed type policies, and people are also making a turn towards the GUL. And Joe had mentioned our guaranteed UL, how that had repriced. So we're really making a commitment to that guaranteed UL market as well. Another thing that Carrie mentioned earlier was life changes. Your clients, everybody has a life changes. Either they're having children, they're buying a home, they're selling a home, they're retiring, they have started a business, or their business has become incredibly successful, and life insurance needs just change over time. It's just a natural course of life. What they had 20 years ago, it may be more than they need or less than they need. So what the policy review does is it can rescue, enhance, and enrich what they already have now. And not only enhance, rescue, or enrich what they have now, but your relationship with your clients as well. Doing a policy review is a concept that's going to be a unique service to your clients that they're not getting anywhere else. So some of the clients who are going to benefit from this are going to be ages 45 to 70, affluent with higher incomes, in-force life coverage already. The important thing to think about is some of those clients who already have in-force life insurance coverage is that they already see a value in life insurance, so you don't have to convince them that it's important because they've already bought it. Now what you're doing is you want to make a better situation for them, get them lower premiums, get them more coverage, get them something that just fits their needs a little bit better. Simply just asking the question, do you have life insurance and have you had it reviewed recently? Think about those clients of yours that have had those life events that we mentioned, and those clients of yours that have those permanent policies where the cash value is less than they originally illustrated when they took out that policy 20 or 30 years ago, even 10 or 15 years ago. As you all remember, in 2008, we had quite a downfall in the market, so some of those variable products took quite a hit. I want to give you one example. This is a real-life example we have for Sarah Smith. She was 55 years old, and she currently has a whole life policy that she purchased 15 years ago. So we asked Sarah, what's important to you? She doesn't care about the cash value in her contract. She wants guarantees. She doesn't want to have to worry about where her death benefit going to be in the next 20, 30 years. She wants to reduce her out-of-pocket premiums, and she wants some chronic and terminal illness protection due to some family history having to take care of her mother previously when her mom became chronically ill. So what Sarah currently has is a death benefit of $580,000. She has cash value in that contract of $130,000, and she's paying about $6,300 in premium. So what we propose to Sarah is a death benefit of $750,000. This is guaranteed universal life to age, guaranteed to her age 105. We're also going to put on our benefit access rider, which is a chronic illness rider that will protect her in the event that she becomes chronically ill, and she can access her death benefit while she's alive and pay for those chronic illness needs. We'll take that cash value that she has in her current policy of $130,000, move it over, and we'll reduce her premium to $3,900. So not only have we reduced her premium, we've given her guaranteed death benefit protection until her age 105, and we've addressed those chronic illness needs. Now that's like the big, I guess, buzzword these days is chronic illness riders. Tell me about your long-term care rider. Tell me about your chronic illness riders. Ours is a true chronic illness rider that you can reduce dollar for dollar in the event that they become chronically ill. So Sarah has a $750,000 death benefit. She becomes chronically ill, meets that definition of chronic illness, and we will accelerate her death benefit up to the IRS per diem, or 2% of the death benefit, which is the lesser of. In her case, she could actually accelerate $118,000 of her benefit today if she became chronically ill. Now down the road, we take into account IRS inflation, and I'm not sure if you can see where my cursor is, but down the road she could possibly get $180,000. We're assuming 4% inflation on that IRS per diem. And as you can see, as she starts taking this benefit where we're highlighted in blue, it's reducing her death benefit dollar for dollar each year. And when that policy runs down to zero, obviously the policy lapses because there's no death benefit. Just a quick highlight on this benefit. Like I said, it is a true chronic illness rider. It is reduced dollar for dollar. The biggest things to remember is that there's zero elimination period. It is indemnity, so there are no receipts whatsoever. They can use the benefit for whatever they like. They can take the trip of a lifetime. They can pay a family member to take care of them, which is one of the biggest things. You know, there's 10,000 people a day turning 65 every single day in this country. 7 out of 10 of them are going to need that chronic illness care, and 8 out of 10 of those people that are getting the chronic illness care are being taken care of at home. And a lot of those people taking care of them are family members. So wouldn't it be great to be able to compensate them for their time, for taking care of them, taking time over their work life to take care of them. So I showed you the quick case study on Sarah, talked about our benefit access rider a little bit, that chronic illness rider. And this is a real quick, another example of a survivorship, we call it. So Judy's 68. Her husband died about 5 years ago, and they had a survivorship whole life policy when he died. So she has this policy still sitting out here, and it's being funded by a family trust. And the trustee is concerned about those dividend scales, because if we go back to earlier in the conversation, those Treasury notes have been going down and down and down, and they're not getting the kind of dividends they expected on this. Judy wants to leave a legacy, but with that unknown dividend scale, she wants something guaranteed. So what we can do for Judy is offer her a guaranteed universal life. And how are we going to do that? Judy currently has about $1,038,000 in her death benefit on her current policy, and she has $250,000 of surrender value. So what we do is take that $250,000 and we 1035 exchange it into an individual guaranteed universal life product to age 105. She gets about $300,000 more in death benefit, and it's completely guaranteed until 105. So she doesn't have to worry about that dividend scale, and she has a little bit more death benefit to leave to her heirs. And I like to note, some people think you can't do a 1035 unless it's like for like, right? But when you have a survivorship and one of the spouses has actually passed away, you can 1035 that into an individual product. That is the only case you can do that in. So I've covered, some of those challenges your clients are facing with the mortality changes, with products becoming less expensive than they used to be, that market volatility, some of the life changes. I showed you some real-life solutions, and I talked about, who to really look out for when you're doing these policy reviews. Real quick, these are just some talking points you can use with some of your clients. When's the last time you had a review? I'm providing this service to my clients by taking time to evaluate any existing life insurance policies that they may own. And, tell them that life insurance is commonly misunderstood, and this is an opportunity for me to, help you understand what you have at a better level. So, and like I said as well, is that, it's so simple as just asking the question is, do you have any life insurance right now? And if you do, when's the last time you had it reviewed? I think Kerry said it best, is that, this is the road he took 40, I don't want to age you, Kerry, 40-some years ago. 40-some years ago. 44 years ago. And this is a concept that really, it's going to give you another layer of trust with your clients. I always tell them, too, that not every case is going to be, you're going to make the situation a little bit better for your clients, but worst comes to worst, worst case scenario, you've offered your client a service that, is valuable to them regardless, and they're going to trust you at a whole nother level because you cared enough to put in the work and ask the right questions and try to do right for them. So other than that, I wanted to keep it nice and short because policy review it's a simple concept. It's just asking the questions is really I think the biggest part. And Kerry and Joe, I think I'll leave it at that if there's anything else.
Joe? I think we may have lost Joe. In any event, Jen, thank you so much. I just want to make one point, too. Anyone who is listening to this webinar apparently wants to go the extra mile. The good part for us on the webinar is that most agents absolutely will not take the time to sit down with a client a year or so after the initial sale is made. The sale is made, they go running home, they tell their spouse, I made $200, $300, $400 today, $1,000, whatever it may be, and they lose the relationship with that client. And what they fail to realize is that when their client is bowling or meets somebody in a restaurant or just just has some kind of contact with another agent, that agent will do or can do a policy review, can do a term conversion, can save that client money with some of the things we discussed, Jen. And the point being is that, yes, you'll make the original sale, but you could lose out on thousands and thousands and thousands of additional dollars of commission that will be sold by someone else. So that's the key to the policy review. You're the writing agent. This program helps you to maintain the relationship with your clients throughout the years. And this is the way that you build a practice for yourself, and you don't just pass through this business. And Lord knows I've seen many, many agents pass through because they don't want to take the time to do things like this. And I want to thank Prudential because this is a really, I am not a very technical person. I still think fairly basically, and I think with a a concept, with a tool like this, it allows agents to be agents and establish the best possible relationship with their clientele. So, Jen, I thank you so much. Joe, I believe, is having an audio problem.
I've got that fixed, Kerry. Thank you.
Oh, you're back with us. Okay,
yep,
good.
absolutely. So what we'll do, thank you, Kerry, thank you, Jen. Everybody will receive an email today with all the resources that we covered. So look for that in about an hour or two. And again, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Before we go, of course, I want to announce the 100th registrant and tablet winner, who is Kathy G. out of Virginia. So we will send that tablet out this week. Thank you, everyone, and certainly appreciate your time this afternoon. Take care.